I think in this audience, everybody knows who you are and what your work is, so I won't try to go through it again. But I'm truly delighted, thrilled that you're with us, and now it's all yours.
Thank you so much. In fact, you are using the words I wanted to use to say how glad I am to be here.
Oh.
So I will not repeat.
Yeah.
But I am grateful, and it's really an opportunity. So thank you for coming. Now all over the world, people are watching me.
Yeah, and I hope they can see you. They should be able to see you.
I'm right in front of this green light.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sitting in front of too much of the
should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for this opportunity, in the first place, David, and all of you for coming once more. I'll give a series of lectures. Today I would like to talk about a problem for which I cannot offer a solution. So my hopes are in you. Listen carefully and be critical and give me the advice of what I should do today. My topic may be a bit specialized, so I would like to use the opportunity to give you first some context. I'll give you a short survey of the complete history of Japanese literature to begin with. Don't worry, it will be in a few seconds. And I also will tell you something about the manuscript tradition. Begin with the literature, the history. Japanese literature is documented from about 800 up to the present. It's still alive and a lively literature. Prior to 1500, the orientation was towards India. Religious outlook was Hinduism and Buddhism, and the language was, well, Javanese, but what we now would call Old Javanese, so different from present-day Javanese, but maybe even not that. So that's, in fact, the Javanese we know now, whereas the Old Javanese is different in structure and also in lexicon a little bit, as some of you know, later on paper, borrowed from Europe. Printing appears around the middle of the 19th century, so by far the longest period is that of manuscripts, handwritten material. The production on paper borrowed from Europe. Printing appears around the middle of the 19th century, so by far the longest period is that of manuscripts, handwritten material. The production of what I'm talking about, I mentioned it on purpose in Java because it's not the whole story. In the case of Old Javanese, so the language and literature prior to 1500, you have also to deal with, had picked up that love for Javanese culture and especially literature, and they continued to be interested. So now, from that time onwards, apparently you had Old Javanese, both literature, I mean, both in Java and in Bali. Of Java, there were isolated places, say in distant mountainous areas, where you still would find pockets of people living with a continued interest in the old literature, who in fact, Bali is to the right of Java. Java is the main island at the bottom, and to the right of it you find Bali, as far as you would not know already. Sorry for. How come Bali is also interested in and involved in the production of manuscripts with Old Javanese text? Well, there was a kingdom once in Java from, say, 1300 until around. So what happened was that people lost their interest in the old literature and even lost the ability to read them. And the Javanese manuscript tradition, in fact, reflects that situation. There's a severe decline, and there are only a few copies made from that time onwards, and the quality is rather doubtful.